You look beautiful tonight, perfectly dressed for this occasion. Did any of you buy something new? Ordered yesterday, just before 11 p.m., delivered to your home today. One click and it arrives. A last-minute convenient bargain for 10, 20 euros? How much does your garment really cost? Tonight I want to challenge you to look beyond the actual price tag and to consider the hands that made your clothing and your belongings. When I was 13, my mother taught me how to use this sewing machine, inherited from my grandma. I was going to single-handedly create my own wardrobe and save so much money. Seriously, I thought I was going to be rich not having to spend my clothing allowance. Well, I found out sewing is a lot of work. My first project was a skirt I made out of an old pair of jeans. First unpicking the fabric, then pinning, fitting, sewing. I spent hours on it. And sure, the first time you make something yourself, it takes a long time. And the more experience you gain, the faster it goes. Or does it? I also wanted to dress up for this occasion. The shirt I'm wearing now still took me 3 hours to make. Would I sell it for 10 euros? This made me realize, how can any garment cost 10 euros? Considering the resources and hours spent on it. There was a time we were very careful with our belongings. Maybe you know the famous ijsmummy Ötzi. The clothes he wore were made from locally sourced materials. Ötzi killed the animal, processed the hide into leather, and then presumably a tribe member made a garment from it. All handiwork that took 2 days and a minimum of 2 people with different skills. No wonder they found traces of repairs. You couldn't just replace your garment easily. What a contrast with today. One click and it arrives. How did we get here? From a few days of work to create a piece of clothing that helps you survive, to one single click of a button and you've ordered your, what, 15th shirt? Through mass production, our products could be made at such a high pace that prices dropped. And so we could buy more stuff. Then production was brought overseas to avoid rules regarding working conditions and to keep prices low. And so we could buy even more stuff. One click and it arrives. It's so easy. It takes no effort and little money. And in our minds, little money means little value. But is that true? What are the costs beyond your actual price tag? Cotton needs 2,700 liters of fresh water for the production of one shirt. The production of synthetic textiles takes up 6 times more energy than cotton. Both lead to soil contamination and the pollution of our oceans. And of course, there's a human cost. Long working days, low wages, poor access to education and healthcare, and child labor is still a reality today. This is the real price of one shirt. And then the shirt is chucked out after wearing it on average 7 times. Yeah, well, it was only 10 euros. I've brought a pile of textiles with me. This is 12.5 kilos of textile waste that has been labeled by us as worthless. This is how much every Dutch person throws away on average per year. It might not seem like much, but that's 310 million kilos of textile waste each year. That's like a football stadium full every single year. But this waste, is it really worthless? As a product designer, I ask myself, can I rethink this? What if this waste could still have value? What if I used it as a raw material? And with this idea, 6 years ago, I once again got behind my sewing machine and started designing products. This is how my sewing studio was born, where we design new reusable products from discarded materials, creating paid jobs for people that don't easily find work. The design process began with a rethink, trying to see the opportunities and possibilities. This old shirt, it can become a lanyard. But a lanyard, what's that worth? That's just a throwaway product, right? Well, that way of thinking can be problematic. Imagine these lanyards are rented out per 10,000 pieces at trade shows and events. It already saves 200 kilos of textiles and prevents 10,000 lanyards from ending up in the waste pile after one use. Imagine the impact for 200 events a year. And this fabric, this old fabric, it can become a reusable gift wrap. Again, one gift wrap doesn't make much impact. But imagine what happens when 1 million gift wraps circulate throughout the Netherlands. What's more, how we treat our resources and how we treat our fellow humans aren't two separate problems, because products are made from raw materials by humans. By looking beyond the price tag, I learned to really value the resources and the people that make it all happen. In the Netherlands, for example, there are different groups of people that want to participate in our society, that want to work. Some of them have fled from other countries, fled to build a life away from war and exploitation. A life where you feel valued by the people around you. How is it possible that in this time of staff shortages, some people can't find work? Well, that this group of people want to work, I experience it every day, and it's not easy. It's Friday evening, I'm sitting on the sofa with my husband having a glass of wine, and I received this message. Hello, I am Nia, but I want to work like the rest. You give me money. Okay, wow. What? I was ready to click this clumsy message away, but then I thought, how about a rethink? Nia wants to work, and she took the initiative to send a message. That's two positives. Nia started as a volunteer in our studio. Soon she became a paid seamstress. Then it turned out she could also lead a team because she's an important connector between different cultures. Over time, Nia has gained new colleagues, expanded her social network, and improved her Dutch. It's great, Nia has now found a job that pays fairly. But you see, there's so much more value in working than receiving a salary. I've learned that how we treat our Earth's resources as well as our fellow humans comes down to one problem. It all has to fit into a system that chases financial profit. In both cases, we confuse price with value. We confuse what something costs with what it's worth. I believe when we learn to value our resources more, we'll make different choices. Choices that don't deplete our Earth, but carefully use, reuse, and regenerate them. Choices that don't exploit people, but create opportunities so that everyone can make a valuable contribution. This system we're in now, we've created it together. Imagine if we want to change it, we can do that together too. We have the raw materials, we have the people, we have the lessons from the past. We don't need anything new, we just need to rethink it. I just started very small with an initiative that fits my ideals and talents. What could you do? And how could you inspire others? There's not a garment or product in the world that could come to life or to your doorstep without resources being invested. There's a whole world beyond the price tag that's worth knowing about. We aren't just end consumers, we're part of the process. We do have agency. We can take action, one click, one rethink at a time.
One click, one rethink. Wat heb je dat prachtig mooi onder woorden gebracht, Minke. Dank je wel. Er zitten hier al die mensen in de zaal, hè? En jij hebt verteld over jouw bedrijf, over jouw werk. Jij bent productontwerper, hebt dan dat eigen naaiatelier. Hoeveel mensen heb jij eigenlijk aan het werk?
Ja, dat is werken nu 8 mensen betaald bij ons in dienst, dus dat is super. En we zijn een werkervaringsplek voor 22 mensen.
Wauw. Dus 30 man, vrouw, hebben op die manier nieuwe werkervaringen of uitbreiding van hun eigen werk, zodat zij de maatschappij op een andere manier in kunnen.
Ja, dat klopt.
Prachtig mooi. En jij vertelde, dat triggerde natuurlijk ook, en daar hadden we het van tevoren al even over. Jij hebt die prachtige blouse heb jij zelf gemaakt.
Oh, ja, ik dacht,
op die mooie naaimachine.
Op deze naaimachine ook nog, ja.
Maar koop jij nou echt nooit wat nieuws?
Oh, nou deze is van een stofje uit het atelier, wat dus eigenlijk afgedankte textiel was. En dit pak heb ik nieuw gekocht, maar wel bij iemand die ik goed ken en die dat eerlijk en duurzaam doet. Maar ik koop meestal tweedehands, ja.
Maar als je dus nieuw koopt, duurzaam doen. En anders de kringloop heeft, of een tweedehands kledingzaak heeft natuurlijk prachtig mooie spullen.
Zeker.
Ja. Dank je wel voor je inspirerende verhaal. Rethink. Wij gaan het allemaal onthouden.
Super.
Minke!